Engadget Playdate. I am Associate Editor Sean Buckley, and with me is the marvelous Associate Editor named, what's your name?
Timothy Sepola.
I can't say your name because I'm bad at everything. Timothy Sepola. And we're here to play Super Mario Maker, which we're playing. And I don't know where to start because there's make and there's play. And and I'm kind of like, should we jump into some levels that other people have made, or should we try and like do?
I think that the best thing for people, like, I mean, it's pretty easy to describe. Super Mario Maker is a game that lets you make Mario levels, 2D Mario levels. But I think the way to go is going to be to start off showing, you know, the different options that are through. What is this game like when you first pop the disc in and start playing, Sean? I think that's kind of probably be the best way to start.
It's kind of like this. So it starts off like what you're seeing right now. There's a title screen. It says Super Mario Maker, and you get like halfway through the level, and then it's like, oh man, this level isn't done yet. You could do something about that. And well, wait, what just happened? This is new. Oh my gosh, I can add stuff while I play. This is not a normal feature of the game. Anyway, it drops you straight into make mode when you start the game for the first time.
Oh.
And says, hey, this level's not done. You should finish it. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'll do some stuff and delete some things and drop in a bunch of Goombas everywhere.
I'll do some stuff and make some things.
And then you press play, and then all hell goes loose, and you keep playing the level. And that's basically it. It's really weird. It does like nothing to introduce you to the game. It just straight up says, here's the game. Good luck.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was really weird. I was kind of blown away, honestly, by. It is literally a Mario Maker. It drops you into this mode. There are game modes, but you kind of have to find them.
Really?
Yeah, and so it really surprised me. But actually, I know what we should do while we wait for people to show up. Let's go and see my first Mario Maker level that I made when I loaded this up this morning. It's not a good level. In fact, it's very self-promotional.
Is it self-promotional, or is it promoting the website we work for?
Well, you know, that's self-promotional because I represent the website we work for.
Well, I mean, of course.
Yeah, it's basically I wrote Engadget. And look at this. It's, you know, it's just pure awful beauty.
Well, it'll give me it takes a second. But
yeah, you're a minute behind.
Of course. I mean, day late, dollar short, that's usually how I roll.
That's basically your entire life description.
Yeah, I mean, I make deadlines on time, but that's about it. All right, so if you're big Mario, can you even fit underneath our logo?
Oh yeah. The logo's too tall, and then we're well, actually, I'm one sector tall because I just picked up a mystery mushroom that turned me into the character from Splatoon.
What? Wow. All right.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. It's what you can do with Amiibos if you tap on them. In fact, let's lose that power and turn back into normal Mario.
So what does the 8-bit Amiibo do then? 8-bit Mario Amiibo do?
Oh, 8-bit Mario turns you into like a giant Mario, and it does this really cool thing that turns the TV into a CRT.
I want this.
I can make it happen. I'll show you later.
Yeah. Have you met how many of the Amiibos have you messed with?
I only have 2 Amiibo myself. I have the Splatoon Amiibo, and I have the Super Mario from Smash Brothers Amiibo.
Oh.
And they're like, let's actually show you. I'll show you what they do right now. I don't have them on me, but I don't need them anymore. So we've got this Engadget logo, and I'm gonna change. I gotta find something I can change. Here,
you know what you should fix right off the bat?
What?
And this is coming from Philip, our coworker, our copy editor.
Okay.
He says that the Wi-Fi waves should be over the T instead of the E.
Did we change that? Oh,
it's only if you show the E. If it's only the E, then the E stays with the waves. But if it's the full thing,
he's right.
The waves are off of the T. So good job, Sean.
He's right. Well, I mean, I made the E at first, and I thought, why don't I make the rest of it? So let me show you actually what that does. So the Amiibo support is really, I think it's really cool for this game. You have this item here. This is the mystery mushroom, and let's just put it here for a second. The mystery mushroom can turn you into all sorts of stuff. In fact, let's just put a bunch of mystery mushrooms like around. And if you double tap it, you can choose what the Amiibos unlock. And so this one here, which is classic Mario with modern Mario colors is what the Super Smash Bros. Mario unlocked. And so that's one of the 2 amiibos I have. And then, how do I get down there? Down here is the Squidling girl.
Okay.
And that's the only other one I have.
From chat, user Hatax, H-A-T-A-X, says there's quite a few levels online that have all of the amiibos in a block. They all have different music when you finish the level.
Yeah, they do, and we should go check it out. In fact, I've already.
We can do that. We can do that after going through this.
Yeah, I've earmarked a couple of. I'll earmarked a couple. Excuse me. Oh, if you get one, so these are mystery mushrooms. If you get a mystery mushroom that doesn't have like an amiibo, you just kind of get a random one. So here I am as a question mark block now, which is very strange. But let's see. Okay, so I click on this one. This is another mystery mushroom, and I turn into the Squidling Ink Girl, like I said. And here's the other one I have, which is again just normal Mario, except for he's got different clothes on.
Well, sure.
And a proper mustache. It's basically like if they could do the NES with the original Mario graphics, but an enhanced color palette. That's what that one does.
And you can swap on the fly to the different colors, right?
No. I mean, you need to get the mystery mushroom.
Oh, you can. I mean, you can't. I mean, you can swap the game, the level colors and stuff. So you can swap the different graphics right on the fly, right?
Yeah, like let's turn it into Super Mario, New Super Mario Mother. Yeah,
New Super Mario Mother.
That is
a bit of canon that has never been explored in a Mario game.
I will totally play that game.
Is exactly who is the mother of Mario and Luigi?
I don't think they have a mother. I think the canon has been explored. In the Yoshi games, they were brought by the stork. And and they got lost, and Yoshi had to take care of them.
Okay, all right.
Or something.
Sure.
I don't think they ever showed the actual parents. But yeah, so now we have New Super Mario Bros. World. One thing you'll notice is New Super Mario Bros. World, and I'm super disappointed by this, even though I knew it was going to be the fact. The mystery mushrooms were in the bottom of the E, but if you get them in New Super Mario mode, you just get the propeller instead.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can't play as like high definition Link in the thing. You can only do 8-bit mode.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna ask because the only amiibo that I own currently is Toon Link from Wind Waker. So I was curious as to how that would work.
You get to play as Link in 8-bit mode, but not in any of the other modes. Just 8-bit, which is okay. But let's go and look at something more complicated because this level's boring and stupid, and it's just our logo. So
yep.
Let's go.
It's a perfect description of you.
Yeah.
Boring, stupid.
I'm a boring, stupid logo.
The Kovar in chat says he or she is watching this at work because they can't play until they get home, and they've been binging on Super Mario Maker videos and streams all day on the second monitor while he gets stuff done first. That's pretty cool.
Well, thanks for joining us because I've barely played this game before now myself, and it's like I'm still learning.
The Kovar says Mario's mom is Mama Mario, played by Lou Albano, just like Mario himself. That's canon, right? And Kovar is a guy, so.
Yes, I am assuming that is totally canon, because, my gosh, like, do the Mario. Like, that song will never leave my head. Did you watch that show? Do you even know what I mean?
Wasn't it? It was, they had like a 80s or late 80s, early 90s Saturday morning cartoon. And there also was a Mario and Legend of Zelda 2-pack breakfast cereal that was really hard and cut the crap out of my mouth whenever I would eat it.
I don't think that was actually related to the cartoon. I just think it existed.
Right, but it was a thing.
So let's make a quick little level, and I'm gonna make
that hand. It reminds me of Monty Python.
Yeah, I guess it does a little bit. It's just a generic Japanese lady's hand, as far as I know, though.
What? Whoa! So you can bounce on these Koopa Troopas?
I hope. I don't know. Maybe I can.
Oh.
I mean, I'm assuming I can. I'm just kind of dragging random stuff because I don't know what I'm doing. But as an example, you can put wings on anything. Like put a wing on a piranha plant here.
Can you put wings on yourself?
I wonder. No, it does not let you do that.
Oh.
That would be nice. And then let's just.
What about a warp pipe? Can you put wings on a warp pipe?
You can put things on wings in a warp pipe. Like you can put a mushroom in a warp pipe and give it wings.
So what you're telling me is that you can't put wings on everything, and
No.
you lied to everybody.
I didn't lie. I'm just wrong, which I'm frequently am.
Well, I would say that lying is akin to being wrong. Or
No,
being wrong is akin to lying, especially when you're speaking.
No. There is a distinct difference between lying and being stupid and wrong.
Sean, we look to you for guidance. You're lying to us.
This is a huge pet peeve and an important thing. You're only lying if you know you're wrong. If you're willingly giving false information, that's a lie. If you're just wrong, then you're just an idiot. I'm just an idiot, Tim. Get it right.
See, these are the types of things that I think that our Twitch audience tunes in for.
To know whether or not I'm an idiot?
Well, both of us, rather. I mean, we've established that I'm dumb like you read about. You're an idiot. So we might possibly be collectively lowering the IQ of anybody that watches us.
So what you're seeing here is I've created my own level, and I'm so bad at it that it's probably just an indication this isn't a good level.
Hello. It probably is not a good level.
No, it's not. So we should probably check out some of the... There's some amazing levels out there. So that's the basics of Mario Maker. You can make Mario levels if you're good at it. And we'll come back to me making some levels later, but maybe we should start with some levels that are actually good.
I think that'd be a good... that would be a very smart idea.
Off. So among the things that are interesting, though, about the menu, down here we have the Undo Dog. And that's...
Oh, okay.
That's from, I think, Mario Paint. As is the rocket ship that deletes everything.
Oh, that's the thing. I was told that there is a really surprising amount of Mario Paint's references in this game.
Right, and like I think the eraser tool is too, but I think it's great if you know what they are, but it's almost to the extent that it makes it kind of hard to navigate for me. So here we are into the main menu, which makes sense. But how would you know that the level manager was the core spot? That doesn't sound like the management menu to me. You know?
No, it doesn't.
But that's what it is, core spot. So you go over to core spot and you can see the courses you make. You can see the all of one because the other one I made didn't save. But let's check out the online stuff, which is called Course World.
Okay.
And
so I'm gonna go through. There have been some really good stuff in chat. Duke says that the Saturday Morning with Mario cartoon is on Netflix.
Oh, is it? Oh my gosh!
Whoa! There was just a huge car accident outside. Holy crap!
Whoa, is everything okay?
Oh, I'm not in it, so it's okay. But it sounded like a bomb went off.
Didn't hit. I think I heard that. As long as it didn't hit your house, man.
I mean, I live in an apartment building that's like 300 feet away from the street, but still, holy shoot, that thing was massive. Anyways.
So, I saw in the chat someone said they're waiting for Mega Man levels. There isn't a Mega Man level, but I did see something that claims to be a Metroid level in here. We should check that out.
Oh. See, now this is the thing with these games that are the kind of the build your own games, right? Games like Little Big Planet is there's always so many things of, oh, hey, here the thing in Little Big Planet was always, oh, I'm going to make World 1-1 from Mario. And then another person would make Green Hill Zone and things like that. But they always just felt hollow, and that's why I've been hesitant with something like Super Mario Maker, and I haven't really been following it too closely because the make your own games don't do anything for me, as we talked about on the stream yesterday with the folks from Media Molecule.
Oh my gosh! Sorry, I'm really excited. Something cool happened. Keep going.
So I'm really... Is that Samus without the mask on?
It gets better. It gets better.
What is happening here?
Someone used the Amiibo. So this maybe ties to what you're saying. Right? He just turned into
so cool.
Suited Samus.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So what this is doing is like you said, a lot of them feel hollow or they don't feel right, particularly in like Little Big Planets 1-1s never felt right to me either. Oh man, I'm really bad at this game. But in this one, since you have that Amiibo option, you can literally turn Mario into like these other characters. So this level starts out and you turn into Zero Suit Samus, and then you can get the suit, which is I gotta stop dying.
Oh yes, you do.
That is really cool. But we gotta explore this level some more. So yeah, I would love to see Mega Man. Does the Mega Man Amiibo turn into Mega Man in Mario Maker?
I'm not sure. The cover says, speaking of Mario Paint references, there are some flies that pop out of blocks sometimes. I'm not entirely sure what makes them appear, but if they do, tap them all. Trust me.
Okay. I'll see. Oh. See, I'm doing really bad. I'm getting destroyed by this level. Wow. Because like that's the thing is like this is a Metroid level. It's designed like a Metroid level. There are Metroid there are enemies flying around like quickly the way Metroid characters might, but the problem is I don't have a blaster. Right.
Right.
So I gotta keep playing it like a Mario game, and it's hard.
So noted Jaguar fanboy and Engadget copy editor Philip Palermo says that he really wants to try making levels from the original Rayman he loved on his Jaguar.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Whereas Joseph, our manager, says that he canceled his pre-order for this. And Yodel says, oh man, the spots where everyone dies shows up, that's pretty damn cool. And I have to say then, yeah.
Oh yeah, so online mode is really neat. Not only does it show where everyone dies, but it shows people's commentary, it shows Miiverse posts, which aren't always great, but sometimes it's cool because you'll get to see what other people think as you're playing it, which is way better than actually going into the Miiverse menu. Oh my gosh, this is just like Metroid. Oh my gosh! Oh, this is very hard.
Yeah, so and then the problem is this is what's coming up in chat as well from Hadax, says that you get a little Mega Man with the Amiibo, but there's no arm cannon, and he cried a little.
Right, that's the same problem you have kind of with Metroid. It looks awesome, and it makes this themed level really, it kind of pulls it together. It's not just...
It is a really big turtle.
Oh, it's a really big turtle.
Oh my gosh, that thing's huge.
It really pulls the whole thing together, but then like you're like, oh, but I want the cannon now. But they can't, of course, add the cannon because that would change the fundamental gameplay of Mario, and then it wouldn't be Mario Maker anymore. It would be like weird Nintendo Game Maker, which I would also be okay with. Oh.
Right. Some of this, like with the notes, I know this is something that's been done before, but it feels very Dark Souls in that sense, with the notes from the other players.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of it that way, but it totally is.
Dark Souls, and then Shovel Knight kind of riffed on that as well.
Did Shovel Knight have a thing like that?
Mm-hmm. You could access the Miiverse post from the gamepad.
We're gonna go through this in Zero Suit mode. I'm not gonna get the new costume anymore.
Sean, always.
What? No, we're gonna go through Zero Suit because Samus is awesome, and I want to see her golden locks. We're not gonna disguise it. This is a woman kicking ass.
Damn straight.
Gosh, that almost destroyed me. I am actually really impressed with the care they've given into these amiibos. For instance, like when she ducks as normal Samus, she goes into the ball mode. If you press up, which does nothing in normal Super Mario Brothers, Samus pulls out her gun, and you can see her pick it up.
Oh, but she can't fire it.
She can't fire it, but it's a really cool visual nod. Like this is, she's striking a pose. And it's using a button that doesn't do anything in normal Mario except for climb up ropes, so that's really cool. Oh, okay, so we got into here. Got some mystery mushrooms. Uh-oh. I think those are supposed to be used so I can come back and use life, and I didn't do it. Okay. Oh, we did it! Oh my gosh. Finally.
Hooray!
So, I mean, that was really creative. So, I mean, there's some, like, that's what excites me at Super Mario Maker. Like you, I'm not much of a creator.
Right.
Which makes me feel sad because when I realize I can't make Mario levels, I realize I'm not as creative as a person as I want to be.
But Sean, nobody's perfect, and you're very far from it.
I'm very far from perfect. But it's kind of like this endless stream of Mario levels, and some of them are really creative. So it's more for the content. Unfortunately, I don't know if for me that would be worth the like Joseph said he canceled his pre-order. I don't know if that would be worth the price tag for me.
Right.
Just to have the levels. On the other hand, here's a Sonic the Hedgehog level we're going to play.
Right, and the thing is, what's cool with Little Big Planet, or games like this, is that I know that I can't cite any specific example.
Oh my gosh, not to stop you, but this 16-bit Sonic and 8-bit Mario world is every fulfillment of every childhood dream I ever had reading Nintendo Power.
Wow, you did not have very vivid childhood dreams.
I always wanted Sonic and Mario. This is amazing.
You have Sonic and Mario now. They go to the Olympics together.
No. This is literally Sonic and literally Mario.
They're not stuck in some crappy Olympics game?
Oh no. This is Oh no, not a pit. I'm sorry.
Joseph brought up a good point. He wanted to know if we think that the community is going to take over the way that it did for Little Big Planet on this, but maybe? I don't know. The thing with Little Big Planet is people can make... It got to the point where the tools that Media Molecule gave the community with the games, they got to the point where you could build entire games, not just levels, but you could build entire top-down RPGs and crap within the game itself. I don't know if that's going to be something that you can do in Mario Maker, and
I don't know. I think Joseph's question is more like, will Nintendo stop making their own new Super Mario Bros. Games because of this?
I don't know. That'd be really interesting. I would like to see Nintendo... Oh my god, you're right. This is 16-bit. Oh wow, this is something else.
He looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
It is phenomenal how good Sonic looks in this. This is everything I always wanted.
Yaddle says that you're a Super Mario taker.
I don't know what that means.
Instead of a maker, you're a taker.
All Mario does is give, and all I do is take.
Yep. I do like how it is integrated the Miiverse posts right into the game, so you don't have to keep looking down at your gamepad to see them.
Yeah, it's a lot better than having to even go into the Miiverse mode. Even though I like browsing Miiverse from time to time.
Right, but it takes you right out of the game. It's like, oh right, there's this thing.
Yeah, it's much better. Okay, here we go. Bam!
I'm really curious to see how this game does take off in terms of what the community does with it, because like I said, Little Big Planet, how Media Molecule approached that after the first game came out, is they started just going deeper and deeper and deeper in what they could do. And I'm not sure, I don't know if Nintendo is going to release something like that or do something like that with Super Mario Maker. We're like, oh, Super Mario Maker 2, there's so much other crap you can do now instead of just making 2D levels.
Right, and I was thinking the same thing. Where is this gonna go?
I would like a Super Mario 3D Maker.
Oh yeah,
I see that as a logical progression. I don't know that Nintendo will do that though.
So people have been asking them like, what other Maker games are you gonna do, right? And I think one of the developers said, well, like someone said, are you gonna do Zelda? And they were like, well, we don't know if we could do Zelda. It's kind of hard, but
right.
This is a fun thing for anyone who's a big Zelda fan. Oh, Pikachu's so cute. If Zelda already has a Zelda Maker, it's called Zelda Classic. You can download it on PC, and people have made their own huge Zelda adventures in multiple art styles using this program, and it's fantastic.
Right.
So I mean, they could do it, but the question is, will they? And I think it really depends on the sales. I think we'll see a lot more of those kind of games if the sales for this do well, but I'm really worried about the sales for this game.
And, well, to go to that, the cover art says that Super Mario Maker can't do a lot of the things they've done in Mario games. No slopes, no rotating platforms, etc. As long as Nintendo can do gimmicks themselves that Super Mario Maker doesn't support. Hold on a second, I have to sneeze.
He's right, though. He's right. There doesn't do slopes. I don't know if you unlock it later, but I haven't seen a single custom level that uses pipes yet.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go in pipes, or if you can go in pipes, I haven't seen any pipes that let you... The best example of this is I found this morning a 1-1 remake from the first level, and it was missing the underground section, and that was really weird.
And that's the thing, that makes this ultimately kind of shallow and hollow. If you can't do all of that, it's really strange, because you're making levels, you're not making games. You're not making an entire game. And that's where I have a hard time getting excited about this, is because then instead of making a game, you're playing through levels. And levels are great the first time you play through them, but how much more of them are you going to play?
Well, I mean, I'll play levels forever, but the levels have to stay engaging. Right now, the novelty here is for me is because I'm playing a lot of 8-bit Mario levels with characters that were never in 8-bit Mario. And I haven't played an 8-bit Mario game since then, you know?
Right. But that nostalgia, that quick hit can't last forever. It can't.
No, it can't. Oh, going into a pipe. This is the first time I've gone into a pipe. Oh, so there are underground sections. I was wrong. This is the first. Wait, hold on. This is every step you take, every move you make. Remember, repels or wild Zubats will appear.
Oh, I thought it was gonna go closer. I thought it was gonna go more into a police lyric.
No.
Can't you see you belong to me? That would be really dark in the context of this game.
Ah! Yeah, kind of. It's supposed to be Pokemon.
I will say, though, to continue what the cover art was saying, yeah, as long as there are gimmicks that Nintendo can do that Super Mario Maker doesn't support, that's still a selling point for new 2D Mario games. And he thinks that the game's going to be huge, but it'll never replace quote-unquote new Mario games. And Buck Mintz brings up a really good point. They say, after seeing Super Mario Maker, I want a Super Metroid Maker, original Metroid, Game Boy Metroid 2 style, Super Metroid, and GBA Metroid.
Oh,
that sounds really cool. Like, it could actually be viable.
Yeah, that would be so huge, because those games are... Wow, that was a really weird experience.
Okay, and Kavar says that underground pipes are absolutely possible. Drag Mario into the pipe in the editor, and it gives you a sub area to edit.
Oh man, we're gonna try that out in a little bit, because that was like my biggest complaint before we did the stream. I was like, why can't I go underground pipes? I want to make a pipe maze or something.
Now, I was talking to our coworker Aaron Sporis, and he bought the game directly from Nintendo, and he got his 8-bit Mario amiibo, and he also got the physical copy of the game, and it came with a book.
Oh yeah, like a book with like examples of Yeah, I
and
saw that.
that's a really neat little collector's item. But I'm curious, how much of this game, how many of the features are just not spoken? They're Easter eggs that you're supposed to find out on your own.
Well, okay, so this is something that you might not know, Tim, but I'm sure that some of the watchers do. The game is on a time unlock for a lot of features.
Okay.
So as you saw, my editor, which I can't go into right now, it was very small what I had, and that's because originally you had to wait 9 days for everything to unlock. Now they've changed it, so things like the longer you spend in the editor, the more things unlock. But you still have to wait. You know, it's like you don't get everything right away. You need to play the game to get everything you need to have to play the game. So a lot of the features just aren't available yet, and they'll come as we keep playing.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And now Duke brings up a really good point. He says we should do a stream that has the chat build levels, and that isn't something we could do in real time. But seriously, if you guys watching, and especially we've never addressed this on the stream, I want to say thank you to everybody that watches our streams that are archived. We really appreciate you guys doing that, and I know it feels like you guys might be a little bit left out. But here's this: I came up with an idea, and I want to thank Duke for this. We could set up where we give our community, our watchers, let's say a week to build some Super Mario Maker levels. And we could do a stream that's nothing but Super Mario Maker levels that are made by the community.
That wouldn't be bad. I would be happy to. I was wondering if anyone had any levels. I would check them out now. But that sounds good. Like, and I'll also, like, we'll go into it later, and you guys can say use this element, and I'll try and integrate that for this live stream. But right now, Tim, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just saying we've gone into the costume room, so we can see what all the different Amiibo characters look like. I just found a level of that. So, right now, oh my gosh, I'm a Goomba. That's what's really weird about this game, is, like, it gives you the ability to play as everything. Like, I never really wanted to play as Toad, but the fact that I can now is exciting to me. Oh, Rosalina, there's so many Amiibo. This is oh my gosh, Dr. Mario.
Hadax also says, if you spam blocks and all new items, it unlocks quicker, no longer done day by day. Takes a lot of blocks as a PSA, though. And so he's okay. He says it takes a lot of blocks to do, though, and he had to fill up a few screens with them.
Yeah, I think it's based on a lot of little things, and so it's kind of like, it's a little annoying that you have to do that, but on the other hand, I kind of get it. Like, it reminds me of Splatoon, right?
Right.
So in Splatoon, like, things unlock really slowly, so you could get accustomed to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I kind of get them not wanting to give you everything at once.
Right, well, and that's the other thing, is if they give you all of the tools at once immediately, and there sounds like there's a lot of tools, that you could get overwhelmed and not even know where to start. So
right.
It's smart.
Oh, here's the Toon Link you want. He's got a little Wind Waker stick, and, oh, he's adorable.
Well, of course he's adorable. He's Toon Link.
And there's Ness! Oh my gosh, sorry, this is...
Oh, and then there's Ganon. What? Oh, Toon Link is the best!
I know, it's gonna be so...
Oh! I'm so excited.
It's gonna be so hard for me not to geek out in this section with all these Amiibos. Amiibo, I'm sorry, it's not plural. Oh, this is amazing, there's a Mario Kart one.
What? Okay.
Yeah, like, I'm literally driving around in Mario Kart.
But yeah, so I'm working on building out our Twitch schedule for next week. And if you guys want to make some Mario Maker levels, I think that we could fit that in next week, where we do a stream that's nothing but Mario Maker levels. So if you guys want to do that, is there a way to tag that? Are there ways so they could just tag something in Gadget and we could see it? Or how does that work? How do the level organizations work, and how do you go about seeing those?
You know, let's look out. Let's see if we can do that. We're using you guys to help us plan a future stream.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. That'd be a really neat way for us to engage with everybody, and especially the folks that watch via our internal video system that don't get to tune in live. If they could do that, then they'd be able to interact too. I think could be really neat.
Well, I'm not seeing... So there's two ways to look at it. There's makers and levels. Mm-hmm. But what it shows you seems largely ranked. By following. I can follow makers, but I need to find them first. I don't know if I can just add them.
Huh.
Unfortunately. If I could, I would happily just
figure this out. Everyone. This is really neat. I think it could be a really cool idea.
Those medals. Well, it's getting complicated. Let's see. Or there's a way. There's a way in courses.
Oh, the cover art says the levels get you a code you can share, like friend codes. Probably best to put a link somewhere for people to share their level codes.
Yes, we should.
We should totally do this. A submission form of sorts.
We should get a submission form.
I want to do this. I think this is going to be really cool.
Or we can get an email, so you can email them to Tim. Why don't I do something stupid in this game, like play this awesome-looking Mario Kart level? Press right, run, and enjoy. Why don't you set up like an email address or something that they can send into?
Yeah. I'll do that right now. I'll make a new Gmail account really quick, and we can do that because I really think that'd be really neat. So if you guys want to do that over the weekend or whenever, once we get enough, just go wild. Just make your best Mario Maker levels, and we can totally play them on the stream.
And nothing not safe for work, obviously, though you can draw anything you want. So, okay, here we go. This is, we're going to restart this level, and it says press hold right, so this is a half-automated level.
Okay.
And it plays Mario Kart for you. And I'm racing a spiny shell.
Oh.
See, I love the weird creativeness in, that, like, is happening in this game. Like, someone decided, okay, there's a Mario Kart amiibo. Let's make a 2D Mario Kart racetrack.
Okay.
That's I don't know, that's genius. That's just brilliant work. You know, like, and to see that creativity, like, in just a little game that started out as I don't think this game started out as retail, to be honest. Like, do you remember back at E3, it was just called Mario Maker, not Super Mario Maker?
This wasn't this year, it was last year. Our former coworker, Brad Mullen, he did a big write-up on it. And the way that it was presented, no, it did not sound like it was going to be a retail game.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a download, sort of like the NES Classics, not the series, oops, I accidentally turned on Miiverse. The NES Remix, because it's also, I mean, if you look at the levels, it's obviously inspired by NES Remix. It has the same engine.
Right.
Let's go. Let's see. What else do we want to do here? Let's find something ambitious. Premiere Creation. Okay, this guy's. That's what it's. Well, that's what they call their own level. I'm gonna do Premiere Creation, and try and handle this apparently hard level.
Okay. I just set up the email account, and I will drop it in the chat. But it's pretty simple. It's engadgetplaydate@gmail.com.
All right. So send your Mario Maker level codes to that, please, and we'll set up a stream to play them, and you'll be able to see how bad I am at Mario. Yeah, so just for the people that are listening on the archive, it is ENGADGET playdate@gmail.com. So it's just like the website name and then the name of the series of videos. So yeah, definitely send us your friend code, or not the friend codes, but your level codes, and if we get enough of them, we will do another stream with these codes. So yeah, definitely please everybody. This will be really, really neat, and we'll try and figure out something to reward you guys with when if you guys make awesome levels. We will definitely work on getting a giveaway, probably some game codes or something, and we can give those to the folks that made some really awesome levels or just made levels and participated in general. So definitely look us up and get working. You got a weekend. You've got plenty of time. This is really interesting. Yes, please, actually, I don't mean to get off subject. I just had a thought. Please, we have the weekend. It's like, go nuts and surprise us and get creative or just get weird. But this is really interesting because we were talking about the longevity of this and, like, could it replace Mario games? Could this be the end of Nintendo's own Mario games because they don't need to make them anymore? You know, is this the medium.com of Mario games? And I don't think so, because like this level is fun and it's great, but it doesn't feel like a normal Mario game. It doesn't. What do I mean by that? I mean it doesn't feel like an official Mario level. It's got a lot of personality on its own, and it's still fun. But like you know, Mario has all these certain tropes and level designs that it sticks to. Like they're obviously working from some Miyamoto Bible. A Mario level is like this. It's like how every Mega Man level has the same switchback. You know, there's one in every Mega Man game. So I think it's like that. It's not just that Nintendo can do like the vertical levels, or they can do different things that the makers can't do. I think it's just that legacy of design isn't here. So it's going to have not a bad feel, but a distinctively different feel. This is a big level. Oh my gosh. I'm going to run out of time before I finish it. Can you set a par time
when you're creating the levels? Can you say, okay, this is a big level, you have, say, 8 minutes to complete it, or how does that work? How does the whole creation thing work?
I don't think there's a score for that. I think you could maybe put it in the... Oh my gosh, that's a big Bowser. I think at best you'd be able to put it in the description of the level, but there's no like scoring thing you can set. It's not quite that advanced. There are sort of like leaderboards and stuff where you can see how other people performed. Oh my gosh, Bowser! Why can't I run to you?
Whoa!
I cannot beat Bowser. I am not a Mario master. Let's back out.
Isn't there a way to jump underneath him and then like pull the key out on the bridge? That has to be how you do that.
Well, it's how you're supposed to do it, but I can't do that. I'm not good at that.
Well, you take advantage of the moments when you're invincible and you just run through him after you get knocked down a size.
Gosh, there's so many. Let's go. This level is just called Try It Not Easy, and it's Super Mario Bros. 3 style, which we haven't seen because not a lot of people have unlocked that yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna move on because I was not gonna beat that Bowser.
Okay. The cover has definitely been doing a lot of watching of Mario Maker streams. Says that you can link 4 levels into a world for local play, but there's no way to distribute them like that. And you can have a time limit up to, he wants to say 999 seconds, which sounds about right, or 900, something like that. No par time.
So you can change it, but there's no par, which makes sense.
Right.
Like you could say, challenge, beat it under 2 minutes less in the description, but I don't think you can, have it like score based on the time.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Right. He says you either get a time over while playing it or you don't. And the Indie Army suggests you could make the time limit the par time though, and that seems about right.
Right, that's it. Like if you want to make a level more of a challenge, you can lower the time limit. But I could definitely go for a few games that have a few these longer levels having more than 500 seconds. I think not everyone knows yet that you can do that. I think it's going to be a lot like those other custom build games, like Disney Infinity, which we did a couple weeks ago. There's like, oh my gosh, there was no ground there. There's like these people that are like these superstar makers. To the extent that Disney now holds, special events for these guys, because they're known as the best at, making these levels. But I don't think. What was I going with this? I got distracted by a blooper.
We were talking about Disney Infinity host events for their makers.
I think it's going to be largely like you're going to have these pro makers that eventually do know all those tricks and make super amazing experiences. But I think the majority of them aren't going to be like that. Luckily, it does seem like their new system. It really focuses on people that get a lot of stars. It focuses on people that were recommended by Nintendo.
Right.
So, freaking jumping fish. Do going behind white blocks still work to go behind the map in Mario 3? Asked the Duke. I tried a half remake level, like it was a remix level of Mario 3-1-1, and I couldn't get it to do it, and I was very sad. So I mean, do you know what he's talking about, Tim?
No, because I never played anything beyond Super Mario Brothers on NES.
All right. Well, the original Mario 3, they have these white blocks you can stand on. They're like part of the background. And if you duck behind them, you fall behind the background of the game, and you can find secret areas that way.
Oh, okay.
But I couldn't get it to work in this one, which was
what kind of threw me off with all the Mario 2D games post Super Mario Brothers, because when I got my NES, it was the Power Pad pack, and it had 3 game cartridges and stuff. I didn't like the fact that the games looked way different. They just added a lot of really weird mechanics, like. In Super Mario Brothers 2 was when you would start pulling up turnips and crap, and I was like, this isn't the same game. And then later I would find out, no, Super Mario Brothers 2 was not originally intended to be a Mario game. They just grafted him on, and I never really got into it.
It was made by Miyamoto, to be fair.
Right, but it wasn't Mario. It was something else entirely.
It was made for a Japanese cultural festival, like hosted by a TV station or something. It was its history is really fascinating. But no, it's not actually a I suck at this. It's not actually a Mario game.
Right. And Duke asks in chat, very, very... He's very angry, I can tell. Asks, you've never seen The Wizard. And no, I have not seen The Wizard.
You haven't seen The Wizard?
God, you just read... That's the exact thing that Duke said. And I would imagine that's exactly how he said it as well.
I mean, it's not a good movie, but you should see it.
You know what movie I have seen starring Fred Savage, though? Little Monsters.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
So you know what other game that kind of had a build your own mission setup was Hitman Absolution.
Really?
And it gave you, so you would start out a level, and for example, there was a Chicago level that was really cool and it was really dense, but you could take any of the NPCs in the game. How it started is you would create this mission. I forget what the exact name of this was, but you would create the mission, and you had to be able to finish it. So you couldn't make a mission that was so hard that nobody could finish it. But any of the NPCs in the game could be the target, and you could set your win conditions for it. So you could lay out all the options. So you could say, all right, I want to say you have to stab this guy in the back with a knife, right? Granted, this is way tonally different, and like I said, in terms of tone, than Mario Maker. But you could do all that stuff, and they gave you a lot of tools, and they let you share them online. But the thing is you couldn't just make a half-finished level. You had to be able to finish it. You could set a par time and things like that. So then it wasn't impossible. So you knew that everything could be done.
It's kind of funny the kind of advanced stuff that winds up, like, people make with these things. That's a pretty advanced sounding editor for a game that isn't based on that mechanic, is what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was really, really interesting. I'm not sure how much of that survived, or if any of that's going to be coming to the new Hitman game. That's going to be a episodic or digitally distributed game coming out this fall.
This one looks nuts. We're going to do this one. Yeah, I mean, wait, say that one more time.
The new Hitman is a digitally distributed title, and it's being released in chunks as opposed to all at once.
Oh, that's right. That's coming out in December?
Yeah. So to go in, just take one quick second to go into chat. People are talking about frame rate, and yes, we are playing at 30 frames a second because that's what our hardware allows, and connections. Sean just upgraded his connection, and we're going to do some tests to see if we can get 60 frames a second. But 60 frames a second, 1080p is really, really intensive on bandwidth, and even 720p at 60 frames a second is really bandwidth intensive. So that's why, just for consistency's sake and just the ability to actually do a stream that doesn't stutter, we are running at 30 frames a second.
We're also getting some new hardware. Right now I'm using sort of a hardware that works, but is sort of janky, which is, normal for joystick streams. But we're gonna be having some new hardware come in, and so in not too long I'll have a different capture device that will hopefully improve that.
Yeah.
Though oddly, from what I've seen, I think it's also a Twitch issue, because we tested this earlier, and I noticed when I saw it, it looked like there were some frame rate drops that you seem to be seeing now, but the archive stream had no frame rate drops. It was very smooth, so I'm not really
right.
We're troubleshooting that. It's that's life with Twitch and and with game streaming in general. So we'll be exploring that soon and hopefully figuring it out. I'm hoping the new hardware will sort it out. So if you're watching this as an archive, you're probably wondering what all this frame rate talk is about. Oh man, all the tips in this level are in Japanese.
Oh, I mean, don't you speak Japanese, Sean? You lived there for a while.
I used to speak a little Japanese, but I could never,
you read it?
I could never read it very well. I can read about half of the alphabet, and the half of the baby alphabet, like the basic stuff that they mostly just use for particles. I can't read the other half of the alphabet that they use for foreign words because I was not a very studious person. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get destroyed.
Duke says that he went to download one of the Twitch sponsored programs to stream. Halfway through the download, it stopped and told him there was a virus.
Yeah, we use OBS, Open Broadcaster System, because it's open and there's a lot of patches and a lot of mods if you need them. There are a lot of other programs too, but I mean OBS is free and is generally well supported. Yeah,
Skype on the other hand is very terrifying to work with. OBS usually works most of the time, but Skype is the one thing in our setup that always is the wild card.
I'd like to see you have a better solution, man.
Yeah, I would love if there was a better. There's Google Hangouts, but Google Hangouts isn't ideal either.
Right, like nothing basically is ideal unless we got our own voice server.
Right. That's a thing that we could look into, but.
Akari says he translates some of the tips, but it's too hard for him to type and watch. No, don't worry about it, man. It's a Mario game. It's not supposed to need text.
Well, it's a Nintendo game, so it's not supposed to need text, period.
Well,
there shouldn't be cutscenes. There shouldn't be anything like that.
Depends on which game you're talking about. Zelda's pretty cutscene-y these days. This Japanese level is super hard, though. Like, this is like... And I think this is like a lot of the appeal for Mario Maker is there are Mario fans that just want super hard levels. To the extent that this isn't the first new Super Mario Brothers game that's full of custom levels. The new Super Mario Brothers for Wii has people have hacked the game and created level editors that you can make on your PC. And I have a mod that changes every single level in the game to a harder custom level that I was able to get at some point. Not that anyone here endorses homebrew, but however, if you want to, what? This okay? So the Miiverse post just popped up. Good luck and a bunch of pictures laughing at my face.
Well, of course.
And all that's here is like a bunch of spikes. I can't walk on spikes.
No.
Oh, this is. Oh my gosh! It's. Oh, this is so mean. I hate this level designer.
So a couple.
Whoa! I'm sorry.
Whoa!
I'm sorry.
Chill out, bro.
Oh my gosh!
It's nice to hear you scream on the stream instead of people.
It's so frustrating. This is just it's a Super Mario Maker. Very hard if you go to community levels.
Yeah. Let's see. Single and loving it. Yes, we have a new mic. There are some issues that we're working on to get that actually in my possession. So we do have a new mic coming, and we're working on some stuff. So rest assured, we are working on taking care of all the wrinkles. So.
Mike D says it seems like this is the Wii U version. As far as I know, the Wii U version is the only version available, Mike. But I mean, if you're referring to the Wii game I was talking about before, yeah, that's a different Mario Maker game. I don't know if we would want to stream that at some point, but it's basically, you know, a fan project that remade the game with all new levels. But yeah, this is the Wii U version, and it's the only one. But yeah, Tim's gonna get a new mic. That's gonna be a thing that happens.
Yes, and then. You know, we'll have jank of a different level and of a different sort after that.
Akari says this is statistically Japanese.
Statistically.
Oh, statistically. Okay, that makes more sense.
You verbally typoed again.
I thought he was just being kind of racist, and I didn't get it.
Wow.
So
wow.
I only looked for a second. I'm trying to... this is what happens when I talk. I die.
Well, then...
Maybe I should just shut up? Yeah.
Well, that's my advice for you in general. Always, but...
I would make the worst politician because I don't shut up very well.
Oh, what's the proverb? Something, it's better to be silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubts.
What? I like people to know the truth about me, Tim. I don't like deception.
I know we've established that earlier in the stream. Is that it's not lying.
It's not lying
if you don't know that you're spewing untruths.
Right. So you know you might just be a moron. And that's okay.
I do wish instead of just that red X's, it would show you like Super Meat Boy style or Super Time Force style, where it would show all of the times that you've died with all the the characters.
Oh yeah, I think that would probably be too processor intensive.
Possibly.
Like that would just take a lot of I think that would just slow down the rest of the game. But that would be pretty cool.
Now, Sean, as with the limited amount of time that you've had with us, do you see any lasting depth here other than just playing through other people's levels?
That might. I mean, what kind of depth are you looking for? I mean, it's a Mario game.
Well, like something cohesive. So instead of something that doesn't just feel like a ramshackle collection of levels, you know, something that there's something more there as opposed to just hey, there's a bunch of levels and it's been like 2 weeks I've played this game and now I feel like time to move on to something else because Nintendo may or may not be supporting this game for that long in terms of, okay, here's all these levels and now we're just going to leave it out in the wild and it's going to gather tumbleweeds possibly. What's going to happen from here? Like, how do you see this game progressing throughout time? Oh, wow, that was really unfortunate how you just
there was sort of a fake story mode. I could show you in a little bit. Let me try this level one more time. I'm obsessed with not dying on it. But yeah, like there's not really. I was disappointed when I started playing through the levels. The game does have some levels of its own. They call them examples, so you can see ideas of how to make levels. So Nintendo did have a whole suite of new levels in this game. If you just want to play some new Mario, you could definitely do that. But it's presented like in a very weak story. It's just very much like I mean, not that there's much story to Mario to begin with, but it's like Bowser is stolen the princess, and here's a little cartoon showing that generically. It doesn't really feel like a full Mario game because I don't think it's supposed to. And so they do that both with the Nintendo levels, and also online levels can be put into this format, and challenges of you have 10 lives or you have 100 lives or whatever.
Okay. Now, does this feel? This is a really loaded question. Does this feel kind of quick hit mobile-esque in that sense? If you're not going to be actively creating levels, do you see a lot of value here, other than just playing through something for maybe an hour and then going from there?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's mobile-esque, but I mean, I'm enjoying playing these levels for what they are, just fine. Right. But I mean, it depends on kind of who you are. A lot of people really love that Mario challenge. And is this just an endless string of Goombas?
Well, I see that you've learned to not hit the question mark blocks.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go and show you that story mode because I'm not gonna beat this level. We're gonna get out of here. And I'm sure people want to see something else.
Now, Brandon, 1993. What I meant by mobile-esque is something you just pick up and play really quick for a little bit.
He means
not
bite-sized.
Yeah, I mean bite-sized. I don't mean. That's what I meant by mobile-esque. And with Nintendo's move into mobile, that's why I said this feels like a loaded question. But no, I didn't mean that this is something you could make on a mobile version. But I meant bite-sized. So you have 10 minutes, you pick up a level, and then you put it down. So
here we go. Sample courses, right? So these are sample courses. So wait, hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. But these sample courses exist after you. So there is a World 1 in this game, right? And the World 1 is the first 4 sample courses. World 2 is the second 4 sample courses. And you get the sample courses by doing something I forgot. I don't know how to do it. Let's see. Oh, 10 Mario Challenge mode in the main menu. So that's kind of weird. You go into the main menu, you click 10 Mario Challenge, and that's the main Mario game hidden within this game.
Okay. Now, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see if Nintendo keeps updating the challenges. Because I could see that as a player that does not get into the creative aspect and making the levels. So seeing if Nintendo keeps supporting with the different challenge levels, it's gonna be great. But the question is how long they're going to do that, and if they're going to do that. Period.
Like you mean
what's already on the disc?
If this became a platform for continuous Nintendo source levels?
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, it depends. It's you can already see though. Look at the difference in this level design versus some of the ones I've seen. There's this layered mechanic of showing you right away. And that's why they're kind of example levels. This game is introducing you to this Goomba, piranha plant mechanic, and then I bet right away after it introduced it to me in a safe environment, it's showing it's giving me a small challenge inducing them. So this is very classic Nintendo design, where it holds your hand and slowly introduces you to the game elements. So when you get to them, you think you can handle it. You're ready for that.
Right. We actually wrote a post about that. Somebody posted. I'll drop it in the chat. But yeah, it's the Mario thing is introduce it to in a safe environment, and then start slowly pulling the training wheels off. And then there's a flip that makes you rethink how the mechanic works, and then there's a boss battle with it.
Right. That's sort of that's the whole mechanic of guided game design. And there's a whole school of thought of this. Good game design teaches you how to play the game with the game than with a tutorial. And so that's the basis of Mario. And with the Nintendo levels, you see that. Oh my gosh, this is scary. You see that way more than you do with some of the user-created levels, because that's just a thing that the users haven't figured out yet, or some of them don't care because they're more interested in creating a pro level challenge.
Right.
I switched too fast.
Now, Duke, I'm going to actually not really. I'm gonna bring up a different point and a different point of view with what you said. Duke says that mobile games have made gamers ADD. They don't have the attention span to handle a story. I would say that's entirely true. I would say that how busy our lives have gotten and how busy adults are in general, that they don't have the amount of time to spend with a story-based game, like a long 80-hour epic like Skyrim. It's really difficult. So for me, when I want to play a game, I want to be able to set aside, because I have about 10 hours a week total to game, period. And for me, within those 10 hours, and it's usually an hour and a half at a time, I want to be able to feel like I accomplished something with the time that I put in. And I would say that is what's more, the feeling of accomplishment is something that's a lot more on people's minds than just having a huge story. So if there's a story that serves within that, that's even better. But for me personally, I love story-based games. And we talked about this when we were streaming Forza earlier this week, is that I love games that have a story. But at the same time, I feel a game needs to respect my time more and not just hold my hand and just take forever to get through stuff. I need a game that's actually going to respect me as a player and the time that I do have, and give me a good experience in the time that I do have.
I feel like the issue with mobile games isn't so much that they're ADD and they've made it so people can't handle a story. I think it's more like mobile games you don't ingest them long enough for it to be bothered to have a big story.
Mm-hmm.
What do these pipes do? This is a warp zone, but we're not in a game that you can use warp zones with. Sorry, I'm playing a remake of level
1-2.
1-2. And now I've made it to level 4.
And you're playing as a jump pad.
I'm playing as so many different things. This is super. It's interesting. It's interesting to me, but for me, like I said, the thing is will this game be more than just a quick nostalgia hit for me? The novelty. How long is the novelty going to last for me? That's my question. I suppose that's a fair question. I don't know. I'm wondering that myself. Like, I'm really enjoying this, and I think this will be the game that I pull out to show friends when they come over. Because, I mean, everyone can go, like, when the cable guy was installing my fixed internet today, I was waiting for him, and I said, okay, let's check this game out before the stream. And he was like, wow, Mario. And he was just like, oh, that's cool. I missed that game. And then, like, he looked again a few minutes later. I was like, wait a minute, you're making that level. And he was really excited by that. And so I think it's the game that I'm going to be sharing with friends because it's more fun to play with others and to, you know, experience the levels they made and, like, have them laugh at you while you didn't get their challenge. Like,
right.
Like, there's been so much Mario Maker coverage over the last several weeks. Like, some of the best videos have been people who had early access who made a hard level and then were on camera making a friend play it, and that friend yelling at them because the level was too hard.
Yeah, so Ikari7789 says, it's disappointing that Peach's umbrella doesn't let you float.
I know. That's the thing with all the Amiibos. They all have something special about them you want, but you can't really do anything with. You know, and that's just because, like, they're just visual changes. What's interesting about them, though, is they have all the powers Amiibo do, have all the powers of Big Mario, but they're small.
Okay.
So they have this advantage where you have the mobility of small Mario, but you still have the ability to break blocks that Big Mario has, or the ability to get hit more than once. So there is value in being an Amiibo character, even if they don't have a visual difference.
Right. We have a game developer in chat, Brandon Hill, 93. So he works on indies as a hobby, and he makes RPGs.
I'm very interested in what game developers think of this, because this kind of like is that thing that scratches your itch that you had as a kid. It's like, I want to make Nintendo games, but I'll never be a Nintendo, you know, because of whatever reason.
Right.
And so this is very much for me. Oh, look, this is Mario. They made Mario out of blocks in the underwater level. For me, that's the same thing. Like, it scratches that itch for a lot of people. But how do developers feel about it? Like, how different is this from the tools they use? Does it feel like you're really making levels, or is it a joke to them? I don't get it.
Yeah, that is a good point to bring up. And I think that what happens with the fact that this is Nintendo that did this, that this has a different level of prestige or kind of some different cachet culturally than Little Big Planet doing something like this. Because you can say, oh, Little Big Planet, people are going to say, who? What? But like you said with your cable installer, you're like, oh, hey, check this out. And you're like, oh my god, Mario!
Yeah, he was like upset that he's like, I just bought a PS4, but I should have bought a Wii, because that's Mario. Mm-hmm. You know? Which is I was joking, I was like, well, that's the whole point in buying a Nintendo console, is basically Mario.
Right. Brandon Hill, 1993, says that from a creative standpoint, the game is genius, but from a lasting standpoint, I don't know if it will last for people. And that's my big, not beef, but that's my concern about the game. Is just how long lasting is this beyond just the quick kind of nostalgia hits and the novelty aspect of it.
Right, and I said earlier, I'm worried about the sales for this game. Like, I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I think it's going to be really fun to share with some friends, but it's like the fact that the intro was very much, you're dumped in the editor to me. I was like, wow, this is going to be off-putting to some people, you know? I mean, it's perfect for exactly who this game is for, but I just don't see it having the same main appeal as a mainstay Mario title, which is funny because they obviously put a lot of effort into this game.
Right.
And I really would hate for Nintendo to be discouraged from doing something creative like that.
Right, and this is something that Duke brings up, and this is what I've been having a hard time articulating. But he says there's no goal here.
No, the goal
other than creating, you know, you're creating levels and you're getting through levels and you're seeing what people do. But other than that, there's no real big goal.
Well,
it's not like, I finished this and then or something like
Well,
that.
okay, I guess you're right. There is no end of the game in that respect. But I mean, let's not be too serious about Mario games. They don't have goals, even the rest of them.
No, it's run right. That's the goal.
Yeah,
Move
basically.
right.
And we're talking about traditional Mario games, of course. There
Yeah.
are kind of stories in some of the later ones, but you know, like, can I tell you this? If there were any plot specifics about any of the new Super Mario Brothers games, I couldn't tell you them. Besides, you know, Bowser and Princess and.
Now, can you make multiplayer levels with this?
That's one thing I haven't found yet. Anyone who's been watching streams, if they could find out, I would love to know, because I haven't seen any indication that you could do the whole new Super Mario Brothers Wii thing and play with multiple players at once.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing is with the new Super Mario Brothers games, is those were all available as multiplayer. So I was curious as if that helped, if that came through here. And I think by design, I don't know that it could.
Yeah. Duke says he wants a Mario game where Peach has to save Mario. Duke, that exists.
In homebrew or an official release?
No, it is called Super Princess Peach. I don't think she's saving Mario, but it is a Princess Peach platformer where she's the star. It is not necessarily very progressive though, because
I've heard this.
I believe one of her powers is crying.
Yeah. Anthony was talking about this on a stream earlier this year we were having.
Yeah, but that's definitely. Oh, it's a Luigi level. I'm so excited. Anyway,
Your Luigi is not over.
Your Luigi never ends. That's the secret. Oh, now I'm Yoshi. I'm sad. I'm not Luigi anymore. Okay. Anyway, so that exists. I've never played it. I think it's actually kind of hard to find. I hope it's one of those games they bring to Virtual Console eventually, though, because I think it's a really unique idea, and it's probably actually a pretty good game, all things considered. Probably.
Probably, maybe, hopefully.
I mean, I don't know.
Who knows?
One thing I think is very interesting, though, is the game styles can't be swapped because they're inherently different. Right now, we're in 8-bit mode.
Yeah.
But you don't, like, in New Super Mario Brothers mode, you have different powers and abilities, and they didn't, even though they brought some of the characters from other games back and made 8-bit versions of them, they didn't give 8-bit Mario the ability to spin or ground pound. So, like, and that's a little sad to me, because I would love someone to have made Super Mario Brothers 3 all over again, and then me being able to choose to play it in any mode I want. Then that's not something you could do.
Right. And this is something I wanted to bring up earlier, but we were talking about how, 2D Mario's, there's no story or anything, but I really cut my teeth. It was my jump from Mario's, because I went from having an NES to having a Genesis. Then from a Genesis, I had a N64. And I had not played any Mario games since the Super Mario Brothers on the NES when my parents first got the console. And so my jump to go to Super Mario 64 was huge, and Mario 64 felt like so refreshing and something entirely brand new. And you're right, even though there wasn't a story, there kind of was, because you were unlocking different parts of the castle as you progressed.
Right, it felt bigger than it was.
Right, it felt much bigger than it was. Like, I remember when I got into the basement and I saw the dinosaur or the plesiosaur just floating around in a pool. I was like, oh my god, that's super cool. Things like that. That was the story the game had. The story was unlocking the castle. Where, 2D games, the story is moving right. And defeating Bowser, the princess, things like that.
Right, that's like that. I think that's the thing is that game was best in its class for the time. It was revolutionary.
Right.
But, so, actually, Brandon's asking something. Was it Brandon that said that? No, SP483 is asking something I think is an important question to distinguish. He says, what makes this a bigger deal than Little Big Planet? And it's like, I wouldn't say it's a bigger deal. I think it's just it
has more prestige.
It's just interesting that it's Nintendo, but I wouldn't make them comparable games, because Little Big Planet has so much more variety you can make.
Right.
Whereas this is like laser shot, fine tuned, Super Mario Brothers. So I wouldn't compare them in that way.
Let's see here. Also, Brandon says that we're pretty cool and nice stream quality, etc. Thank you. And I'm gonna make the call out. If you guys are new to the stream, thank you for joining. And if you like what we're doing, hit the follow button underneath the player window, that heart button, and it lets us know that you like what we're doing. And the flip side, is that you will get an alert whenever we start streaming, no matter of what the device you're on. So yeah, give us a follow. And we have a bunch of stuff coming up this fall, because fall is the busiest time for game releases still, even though it shouldn't be anymore, because people will buy good video games regardless of when they release, and the game industry still hasn't fully figured that out, hence why we don't get anything in the summer. But still, if you guys like what we're doing, give us a follow. And also, I want to make a reminder: we want to do a community Mario Maker level stream. So you can send us an email, make some levels, and then send us an email with the code for your level to engadgetplaydate@gmail.com. And if we get enough of them, we are going to do an entire stream based on community levels. Get you guys some interaction, and we will have some stuff to give away for you as well.
Oh man, what is this nightmare? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have a panic attack from this game. There's just too much happening.
Let's see. A Cinema 265. I get where you're coming from, saying that the stream makes you wish the joystick site was still a thing. But there is silver lining to that. We have one of Joystick's best writers on staff at Engadget, Ms. Jessica Condit, and you can read her work whenever you want on Engadget.com.
And yeah, I mean that is sort of the way things go. We're pretty proud to be able to keep the Joystick brand alive, at least using the stream. So I mean, there's always that. But I think we all have fond memories of that site. But it was just sort of like, it's kind of funny how much the space has changed in the last few years. Not just Joystick, but a lot of great sites kind of just went the way, you know.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, which I think it's just sort of the new market, unfortunately. So, but we're happy to be here. We're glad you like it. We're glad you have nostalgia for Joystick. It definitely has a special place in all of our hearts. I still have one of JC's business cards that I keep in a special place. Oh man. Okay, so this looks like a remake of World 1-1 from Super Mario World. And yeah, it definitely is, except for with some weird effects. But now we have Yoshi going. Oh, that's weird. So what Yoshi is kind of nerfed.
That's okay.
So like in Super Mario World, Yoshi, when he swallows a shell and it's a red shell and he spits it out, it usually turns to fire. In this version, he just spits out the shell.
Oh, somebody brought up a good point. Can you make a game, or can you make a Mario level that runs from right to left as opposed to left to right?
Not that I've seen, but that would be awesome. But I mean,
Okay.
I think not even a lot of Mario levels do. Actual Mario games do that. I think another thing that's exclusive to Nintendo at this point is the ability to make Mario levels that are completely vertical. So every now and then you'll get a Mario level like where the entire thing is a super long climb up or down. And that's not common in Mario, but it happens, and it's basically doesn't exist here.
Okay.
But maybe we should actually go. Speaking of making, we should maybe go in and make something.
Yeah, let's make something.
Yeah,
And do you think there's gonna be a way to do something in real time, like to do with the community? Like, is there anything that you could have them start kind of brainstorming on right now?
Well, okay, so there's some options. We can choose right now with what I have. Oh, it's the wrong button. We can choose between. We could choose between underground level and surface level, and we can choose between Mario Brothers, the original, and new Super Mario Brothers style. So start out with that, and then I'll tell you the elements in a second. But before that, Tim,
okay.
I want to show something I know you're going to be excited about, which is BAM! Retro mode.
Okay.
And this is kind of like what was the name of that Rareware game, the Rare Collection? It puts.
Oh, it was CRT mode. It was like a CRT filter.
Right, it's CRT and a scanline filter, and it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it does.
It's not quite as good because it doesn't actually warp what you see on screen. It's just a frame, but it's still pretty darn cool.
It desaturates it a little bit from what I can see, and it doesn't have the scan lines. It's not this is surprising, but yeah, it's not quite as good as what the Rare Replays retro mode was.
Right, and I've actually just learned this today, that this exists. So that happens whenever you put in the special Mario Amiibo.
Mm-hmm.
But it also will happen on any game mode. So with the Mario Amiibo, the special anniversary Amiibo only does it if you're in 8-bit mode, but you can apply it to any mode, like I just did with New Super Mario Brothers mode, by pressing down and AB at the same time on the loading screen of any level.
Okay.
So that's a secret code that I just learned today from, and I have to shout out, that's the courtesy of the guys at Game Explain. You know, so I saw a Game Explain video this morning that showed that. It's now my new favorite thing to do in Mario Maker, so.
Okay. So we don't have a lot of votes for it yet, but Brandon Hill 1993 says a Super Mario Brothers 3 level.
I would love to do that, but that hasn't unlocked for us yet. But however,
Okay.
if we go out into creative mode, which I'm doing right now,
Okay.
we might unlock it, because things unlock the more things you do in creative mode. So the closest we can get to Mario 3 is original Super Mario Brothers. So let's do that now. And I'm going to choose an underwater theme. Not underwater theme, underground theme, simply because we haven't had that yet. So let's start. Whoop, that's the wrong block. Let's just start by building out the ground for a minute. And as you guys can see from the top here, what I have access to is 4 different block types: a destructible block, a ground block, a hard block, and a question mark block. I have a pipe, mushroom, coin, and spring. And I have 4 kinds of enemies here: the Goomba, the turtle, the Piranha plant, and a wing. And in the second page, I also have a Lakitu? How do you pronounce
Lakito, the
Lakito.
cameraman from Super Mario 64.
And I can use his clouds so he can fly. The spiky things he throws, and a couple of power-ups. So I have all those things. You can tell me what elements you want to use, what kind of challenge we want, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay. So while we wait for the stream to catch up, how about just futzing around? No, I used Yiddish. I didn't drop an F-bomb. How about just what?
Are you Jewish? Are you allowed to do that?
I think that's okay. I mean, it's better than saying the word that rhymes with luck that starts with an F.
Luck to be a lady.
I don't even know what that means.
I like that it made you laugh, even though it was obviously nonsense, though.
Well, I thought about, what did I think that from? Oh, well, I think that song is used in Home Alone, of one of the Home Alones, and Kevin McAllister is just dancing around, just something, well, Luck Be a Lady plays in the background. I don't remember.
So I'm trying this pipe thing someone was telling me about. It's not quite working. Trying to make this pipe warp somewhere.
Oh, our editor Joseph brings up a really good question. He says, "Do you think that Super Mario Maker would have changed the Wii U's fortunes if it had been released at the console's launch?" I think that this game would have been done gangbusters as a launch title.
You think so? I don't think that would have made a big difference. I think people were very negative about the Wii at its launch. I think they might have just kind of scoffed it away.
Huh? Really? You think it would have been people saying, "Oh, it's not the Mario that we want"? I think what everybody wants out of Nintendo for Mario is they want a new 3D Mario game. They want Mario 128, which was teased but never came out.
They want that, or they want another Mario Galaxy. I think that's true.
Yeah.
And as great as Mario Galaxy was, to be honest, I don't want another Mario Galaxy. We had 2 of those, and they were good games. I want to see Mario in a new place, doing something new and interesting. Galaxy's great, and it was great because it was so fresh of an idea for Mario. Like we added new gravity in space. Do that again.
Well, this is the thing, and this is another reason why I can only usually play video games for about an hour and a half at a time. Is I spent 15 years as a mechanic before joining Engadget, and also just doing, lots of physical labor, helping my dad remodel our house, things like that. And my arms and my wrists really can't take a lot of playing video games anymore for long stretches. And my problem is I didn't have a Wii, so it took until I bought a Wii U, and then earlier this year borrowing Super Mario Galaxy 2 from a friend of mine to play it. And all of the waggle in that game, my wrist couldn't take it after about 20 minutes. And I just couldn't play it. Like, I just want to play a 3D Mario game that doesn't have any gimmicks. I just want to play a new 3D Mario game. I want to play Super Mario 64 2. That's what I want.
Sorry, I'm reading the comments. I would love to see Super Mario 64 2. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
No, I would love another one of those. Because that was really, really good. I didn't play. Did you play Sunshine?
I did, and I didn't beat it. I forget how far I got in the game. I got to the point, I got enough stars where I got where I had to get the sunglasses and put them on.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play through super far though. I really enjoyed what I played. I know that everybody hates Mario Sunshine, but I liked it. The camera was very problematic in spots, but I liked that game.
I never played that one, and I wish I did. Like, when they started releasing GameCube games on the Wii U, the first thing I wanted was not GameCube games, just classic games in general. When the GameCube controller was announced, all I wanted from Smash Brothers was them to turn that into a Virtual Console controller, to play those games again.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, we've been over that though, and we're playing games, old games with a new controller just feel so weird. There's a mental disconnect where things don't feel quite right. And in the case of like Legend of Zelda, playing it with the GameCube controller is really difficult because when I think of Ocarina of Time, it works for me on the 3DS. But when I think of Ocarina of Time, I think of that three-pronged controller from Nintendo. And that game was designed around that controller.
Yeah.
But using the big, essentially the big flat tablet for the GameCube for the Wii U gamepad, playing that controller, it just feels so foreign. It doesn't feel right.
And that's kind of like the thing about playing Super Mario 64, like you were saying. I got that for Virtual Console like the week it was released because I was so excited to play it again because that game really holds up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fine. I totally played it and I totally enjoyed it, but it didn't. It was weird playing it without the analog stick because, kind of like you said, it was designed with the analog stick in mind.
Right.
It was designed as a showcase piece for that technology, which we forget was innovative and new at the time. No one had done that before.
Yeah, the analog stick. That's Nintendo releasing the N64 with the analog stick forced Sony to add dual analog sticks to the PlayStation controller.
Right. It was beyond revolutionary. It was like, wow, this changes how we play the games because we were right. The PlayStation launched without analog sticks, and it didn't really intend to have it at first.
And also without Rumble. Nintendo is why we have haptic feedback in game controllers now.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, I'm not saying that people don't give Nintendo their credit because people do, but I mean that's how it was. People didn't really think people forget. Oh man, so that like cameraman's name, Tim? Lakito. I tried to lock him in this little prison and it totally didn't work.
That's what happens when you try and own the things you love.
Yeah, you can't lock him in there. Let's get rid of
him. No. So here we go. I'm going to scroll back up and chat a little bit. Mm-hmm. Metroid Zero says I was thinking of Mrs. Doubtfire, not Home Alone with Luck Be a Lady. Duke says he would like another Mario RPG.
Yeah, I would love another Mario RPG.
Diablo Gamer talks about how the tool palette says it really reads like he copy and pasted it. The tool palette is the heart of Super Mario Maker's creation system. Here is where you'll find place and blocks, etc. Yeah, that really reads like copy and pasting. If you didn't copy and paste it, I apologize. Joseph says that people want the magic of Mario 64 to happen all over again, but he doesn't know if we'll ever feel that way until we get a VR Mario. That's a really good point.
Oh man, if they do a VR Mario correctly, that again, I mean, because Nintendo is sometimes when they do things wrong, you forget about it. When they do things right, it usually changes the industry.
Right.
And they could make if they could be one of those companies if they got on the ball that made that standard as this is what a VR experience is like.
Right, and that's kind of what I was hinting at yesterday with Media Molecule. And I was like, all right, they were talking about they get to play with all of the new Sony technologies. Like, this game feels Tearaway felt like it would be awesome in VR, especially after at E3 when I played the game from Insomniac. I forget the exact name, but it was the Antarctic game. And it feels like H.P. Lovecraft, the video game, in terms of the Mountains of Madness. But when I played that at E3, and I said to myself, this actually feels like a video game. Not a tech demo, but this feels like a video game. It's running in third person, and you're looking over the shoulder. Your head is essentially controlling the right thumbstick in the game. You're looking around, and that's how it works. And I was thinking about how great that would be for something like Tearaway, and now I don't, like Joseph said, I think that until Nintendo does Mario in VR, we aren't going to get that magical experience. That's a really, really, really good point.
Which game was that? I missed the name.
Let me look it up right now. I think...
Was that the one that was a platformer?
No, that you're thinking of Lucky's Tale.
I'm thinking of Lucky's Tale, you're right.
1 second, I will find this.
Because I heard such excellent things about Lucky's Tale, but didn't get the opportunity to try it.
I bet that somebody in chat already has this, but I'm looking up right now. It is Edge of Nowhere. It's really, really, really neat, and I can't wait to play the full version of that.
We're going to, at some point, get to that VR gaming experience, because I've played just a very few VR gaming experiences, and they're so phenomenal, to be honest, like, just when they're done right.
Right.
That they're very much, like, the first time I played, I don't remember, it's called Eve Valkyrie now, but Eve VR is what it was called. It was this, like, when this is done right, this is a different experience for me, and it could be the thing. Like when the post for the stream was saying video games are often wish fulfillment. That'll be the ultimate wish fulfillment. It will be able to trick your brain into thinking you're doing things that you know you'll never be able to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Duke brings up a really good point for me specifically. He says, "Do you play with vibration on?" I turn it off so my hands and wrists last longer for myself. He did landscaping for 9 years. I think for me, it's more of just gripping the controller, and also specifically with Tearaway, it's in the early levels, it's holding down the triggers indefinitely to use the light to bring sunshine into the world, to evaporate the newspaper. It's stuff like that. And also, I can't play Mortal Kombat for more than 10 or 15 minutes because my hands cramp up really bad.
So no one has said much about what I should be doing about the game, so I've kind of just made some really dumb stuff. Diamond Penguin asked if I was building the original Mario. It doesn't have to be. It could be new Super Mario style, which we've just which I've just changed it to, which I guess might fit this nonsense better. So let's stick around that and see what I've played, which is really dumb. I'm sorry, did I cut you off, Tim?
No.
Yeah. So what I've made is since with no plan, I've made a level that has a pipe in it and jumps to running across some gaps, because I always loved that about the original Mario game, where these gaps, they look like you're gonna die, but you can jump across them. And you can just run across those gaps, and you're safe. You know. I always enjoyed that. That leads into a bounce trap, which is just there because I don't know.
Because you're a monster.
I'm a monster. And then you get to see all these coins you're not allowed to have. And as you climb that steps to see all those coins that you can't get into, no matter what, you see a bunch of turtles guarding a bunch of 1-up mushrooms. You know, and an arrow telling you to go down there. And you can go down there, or you have to decide what's more important to you: getting the top of the flagpole, or getting all those extra lives. So that's the best I could come up with while trying to have a conversation.
One thing I want to say is I didn't play a lot of new Super Mario Brothers, but I like how the underground levels are now, and it looks like an old cave, and that's really cool. I never thought of that's what the 8-bit Marios were trying to achieve. No, I thought it was just, you're underground and you're in a blue level. I never thought of it being a cave until now, and seeing this. I think that's really neat.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, the new Super Mario Brothers things they've done to try and change what it looks like. Because, right, you were seeing this mode when I was editing it before, which is just a black background and sort of some blue. Like, you knew you were underground, but you didn't really think about the implications of that being a cave.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I never thought about that being a cave. Ever. Right. Never once in 30 years, or how? Yeah, I mean, I wasn't playing games fresh out of the womb, but when my parents brought that home, it was probably 1989, 1990. I never thought about the implications of that being an underground cave. You were just underground, and it was blue.
Now let's save this. Let's save this bad level that I made.
So we have a couple of people that we have been given a couple of codes in chat, but we're going to focus on the stream on levels that already existed and just making stuff ourselves. But send those level codes to engadgetplaydate@gmail.com. I've dropped that email address in chat a few times, but yeah, we can't take those right now, but we will work on developing a stream that's just all the way around community levels.
Yeah, it would be great to have a ton of those levels and just go on that, and then be able to talk to the people that made them during the stream.
Oh yeah, definitely, that'd be super cool. And then we can curse their name as we shake our fists. Yeah. If they're so difficult.
Well, I'll just do that anyway. You could make a level. Watch, you could make. Check this out. We're gonna make the level that you could do to me. I'm gonna put this here.
Yeah, just make something super brutal.
No, you could make something really easy. I would be bad at it. Can we? Oh, we can. We can move the flag over to make the level shorter.
Duke says need the webcams on for when we're shaking our fists.
Oh man, I kind of wish we had better webcams.
Philip, our copy editor, asks, we may have already discussed this, but is there music and is it customizable? An updated Mario Paint style music editor would be very cool in this.
I do not know how to change music yet, but I do believe that there is some music options. I just don't. I think I've read that, but I have not come across them, because again, we have 5+ panes of options here for bricks, and I only have the first 1.5.
Right. Okay.
So let's see. Make another bad level.
Bad as in difficult, or bad as in poorly constructed?
well, that's
both.
in classic gaming. That's one and the same thing.
Yeah. Russian attack. What else? Oh, Castlevania 2. That was a game that was very poorly designed.
Castlevania 2 is a fascinating. It's fascinating.
See, that's the thing is that was the only Castlevania I played when I was on NES, and that turned me off on the series for the rest of my. Even now, I'm not super interested in Castlevania because that game just turned me off really hard. I played Symphony of the Night. I downloaded it on Xbox Arcade, and I was like, I can't get into this. I see why people like it, but this is just not for me. Period.
I can't really get into the super. Wait, did I lose? Oh, I'm in New Super Mario Bros. Mode. I can't get into the super complicated. Long Castlevanias, but the first game is a really solid NES game.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's just a really high quality game. So you like it's hard. It's really tough, but like not for the reasons that Castlevania 2 was. It's just a quality game.
Yeah. Duke says, wasn't that the RPG Vania, or was that 3? And then Kavar says 2 was the RPG-ish one. It was a mess. I am so glad I am not alone in this.
Oh, no.
I am so glad. God, that game was just.
You are far from alone. It's an infamously tough game, and part of it is just that it was badly translated. There's a mode out there called Redaction or something, and it's basically some fans retranslated the game to make it not awful.
Oh God, the only thing that I look back on fondly is the phrase "What a terrible night to have a curse."
You look on that fondly. That was like just a death note, man.
Well, but that's the one thing that I carry forth from that game is saying, oh, that's what I liked about that game is it never explained to you what nighttime meant and if you had a curse. It's like, wait, what? How do I have a curse? I don't know what's happening.
You're not cursed. You're just acknowledging, boy, it would be really terrible to have a curse. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm making some sort of path. I thought it would be cool to make a cave that Mario has to go through, but this is actually pretty awful.
Oh my God. The cover art says, even with the good translation, it's a mess because the NPCs were actually intended to lie to you.
Yeah, that's not even the worst NES game of all time, though.
No. One thing I will say though is that I think that game, probably more than anything, spurned Nintendo Power subscriptions because they had full level walkthroughs of how the game worked, and they would show all the secrets because there were a couple of castles in that game that you would just be walking along and then you would fall through the path you were on because they're like, oh yeah, that's an invisible block, but you can't see that until you fall through. Now die.
How are you supposed to know that? Yeah. Like that was the thing about that game is like that was part of longevity, like to make games replayable back in those days. It was you make it to, oh man, there's no way it's gonna work. You make it like too hard because then they have to play through it over and over again to learn where all the spots are.
Right.
You know, it was a feature, not a bug, Tim.
Right. Well, that's the thing too. Is I wrote an article for Ars Technica a long 3 or 4 years ago about game length and how everything happened. And I talked with somebody that worked for THQ for a while, and they said that when he was designing levels, I forget the name of the games that he worked on, but he said that when he was designing levels, like a producer would come up to him and say, I want people to die this many times at a boss, so then it'll bring out it'll bump up the difficulty. And he said that when he was creating games, what he would do is he would create the level and not put any enemies in or any puzzles. And he said, the idea was to make it 15 to 20 minutes to cross without any interactions or any enemies. And that's what got me about an hour of the sweet spot of playing through a game once it had all of the everything in beyond just the geometry. So,
not to cut you off, but keep going on that thread just a minute. But the game just cut us off from what you were doing to show us that we just unlocked the underwater set, so we can now make underwater levels.
Oh, okay.
So, sorry, you were saying what now? Ars Technica?
Yeah, Scott Rogers is his name, and he used to work for THQ. Now he worked at Disney as an Imagineer for a while.
Oh, okay.
And we're friends on Facebook, and there's some personal stuff that I'm not getting into with him.
Could you imagine that, having like a developer saying, make this game badly designed so it'll be harder?
Yeah, and that's something that really comes up, and I'm finding this link right now. I'm going to drop it in the chat. It's a really interesting story, and I'm very happy with this story, and it's also very interesting in terms of just how game length worked and how designers approach game length.
Right, and like that was sort of how they were designed back then. Like replayability was sometimes it was playing the game over and over again. Sometimes it was difficulty levels. Sometimes it was arbitrary backtracking stuff that like because that's what you had to do. You didn't have that much space on a cartridge.
No. The cover art says, see here, thing is, Ghosts and Goblins was also hard, much harder than Castlevania 2, but it wasn't cheap about it. If you die 100 times, you always know it's your own fault. Castlevania 2 makes you think it's the game's fault, and that's where it failed, in his opinion.
Yeah, so beating the game took on like a different. That was like a different mentality back then. Like it was your adversary. You were beating the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, I finished the story. It's I'm beating this game.
Right, and it was like, we got this unlocked though. I'm gonna totally rethink what we're doing here. We're gonna make this level the worst thing.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna make this swimming hell.
So what you're telling me is you're going to turn this into the dam level, the underwater dam level from
Ninja Turtles?
Ninja Turtles.
Yes, that is exactly what's happening basically.
Oh my god. That video game. Oh lord.
I love that game.
That game was difficult. Like that dam level. Oh, good lord. Just impossible.
Nah, you just learn the pattern, and like I was able to get through that level really fast. In fact, I hated the beginning of the game because it was just a chore to get through the dam level to get to the open world part of that game. Because once you got past the dam level, things were like you had the turtle van, you could drive around and do whatever you want. It was
no way.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Oh, that is really that. I never saw the coolest parts of that game.
I mean, they were still like instead the levels were like it was more like a special level, like a fancy level select screen. But really, what it became was the levels became buildings, and you got to drive around. The turtle van had a gun. It was super cool.
What? You are blowing my mind. Oh my god.
Really? You never got that far in that game?
No, dude, I couldn't make it past the dam. Yeah. Like Duke says, the first Ninja Turtles was brutal. The underwater with the electrified seaweed.
Yeah, it was super brutal, but there was that thing. It was really cool. Speaking of brutal, this is gonna be awful. What am I doing?
Well, the other thing with Ninja Turtles is that opening area you could jump onto the street surface and then go back and forth in case you were low on pizza for health. You would just go back and forth and get the pizza from the subterranean levels, and then that's how you would get away with not getting run over by the Foot Clan stuff.
Right.
But you couldn't do that with the dam level. It was just, I'm just gonna jump off this dam and into a reservoir full of electrified seaweed. See you guys later, maybe.
Oh, that was not where I was supposed to be in that level. Yeah, it was like super tough.
Yeah.
Like that, like no one's pretending that game was ever fair.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, was that game good or was it just difficult? We are looking back on this with nostalgia colored glasses.
I liked it, but I really liked the Ninja Turtles, and I would have forgiven. I have put myself in a blooper trap. I can't get past these guys. Like, what am I
Dude, I mean, you're talking about Ninja Turtles. I had the Ghostbusters game for NES.
Oh, that was just a bad game.
Oh, good lord.
Like, okay, so the Ghostbusters game, I'm an enormous Ghostbusters fan. Like, you don't even know.
I think you and I are we share this.
Yeah. So I had that. Let's make this level.
I do too. It's at my parents' house somewhere.
But like that game isn't completely awful. That's just like I mean, the game makes sense, but that port is the worst version of the game.
Oh, yeah. Joseph says the endless stairs. Yeah. Okay. Ghost food and one hit kills when you're going up the apartment in Dana's building. When you're going up there, it's like, how does this end? And then the ghost suits are super expensive when you have to grind for that money. And then I don't even remember, they might have given you an extra so you could get hit more than once and not die.
Right, like it was really hard. And I never even made it to the endless stairs because the hardest part of that game for me was earning enough money to be allowed to take on Gozer.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Duke says that the game was made to not be beaten. That wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know. Like, I mean, you can prove the justice of your culture if you beat it.
What?
The end of the game is like a black and white text on the screen, and it says "Confragulation." It's misspelled or whatever. You have completed a great game, and proved the justice of your culture.
Wow. Yeah, the Kovar says, "LOL, Ghostbusters. Even if you beat it, you get the worst, dumbest ending screen ever."
But the Ghostbusters remake, which wasn't bad, like the Xbox game.
Yeah. It was supposed to be considered the third movie.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. It wasn't perfect, but it was a lot of fun. In the upstairs section of the firehouse is the ending screen for the original Ghostbusters NES game.
Oh, I need to find that game and I need to play it because I love the Ghostbusters. I never played that game.
Oh no, you never played the remake?
No.
You know what's nice about it is not only this level is just ridiculous.
It's fully voice acted from the original cast too, correct?
Right, yeah, but not only is that nice about it, what else is really nice about that game is the Wii U version's also good. Or not the Wii U version, the Wii version.
Oh.
And the Wii version because it's like the same story, but it's got different gameplay.
Okay.
And what's nice about it is you have the Wii remote is like the Ghostbusters wand, so you have this cool aiming mechanic that's really fun. So it's I don't know, they're both really fun. If you want the story, play the Xbox version because it looks really good. And after that, you still want more Ghostbusters, check out the Wii version.
Okay, I just came up with a really good idea, and this is something that Anthony and myself had done prior to the launch of Jurassic World, the movie. We played Jurassic Park games. So when does the new Ghostbusters movie come out? Next year?
Yeah, it comes out next year. So before next summer, we should have a stream where we go through.
We
all
can do
of
it that
them.
week.
We could do all of them. We should go through all the Ghostbusters games. There's some old PC ones. There's some obscure ones I can dig up. They're all fun.
Whoa, Duke says there was a Sega Genesis Ghostbusters game as well.
Yeah, that one was a little bit better. It was one of those. So did you ever play the Back to the Future Japanese game?
No.
It's like that. It's like got giant heads for the characters, and it looks like the Ghostbusters. It's not really Ghostbusters, but it's a better game.
Did you play the Telltale Back to the Future game?
Yeah.
How was that?
I enjoyed it. It's not the best game, but I enjoyed it. I'm gonna go back out. I'm doing so bad at creating these courses. We're not getting a lot of feedback of that. So let's back out. We'll go more into. We're gonna do one more thing in Course World, right? And we'll get back to talking about Back to the Future and Ghostbusters, which has nothing to do with this stream, in a minute. But so we showed you the makers. We showed you the courses you can choose. There's also something else that kind of might address one of Tim's problems, which is the 100 Mario Challenge. Which is you get to play the Mario game, and you have 100 lives to clear 8 random courses from the internet that are supposed to be really difficult.
Oh, okay.
From makers all over the world, and so this is kind of like a challenge, and there'll be different modes. I believe from a preview where you can have fewer lives, and it's kind of like something to do. So now I'm in an underground level, and I have 95 lives left because I was doing this earlier.
Okay.
And we'll do that. Do we want to keep talking about Ghostbusters? That will go on.
Well, there are a couple of things in chat that we can address that are still Ghostbusters related, and then we can go back to Mario. The cover art says it's not just fully voice acted. Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis even helped out with the writing to make sure it was as funny as the movie.
Right, yeah, so it was closer to what they would have wanted for the Ghostbusters sequels that they couldn't, not fully, but closer to maybe what they might have been thinking about when they were doing it. I know
because Bill Murray wouldn't sign on to do any of the movies. Now he's going to appear in Ghostbusters 3 in some capacity.
Oh, you mean
probably because he felt guilty because he's like, we denied everybody this for so long, and then Harold Ramis died, and now I just feel bad.
In 3 or in the reboot? Because I think
there's in the reboot.
Okay, and then there's apparently another reboot with a different cast.
That's because of the internet outrage machine. People were complaining that it was a movie that was all women, so now they're making an all guys movie too.
See, I don't care that it's all women. I just don't know who any of these women are, and so I just have no interest.
Okay, you are the art.
I don't watch Saturday Night Live. I don't know who they are, and I don't care.
The fact that you don't know who Kristen Wiig is, period, just bothers the hell out.
I don't even know the name. Is that the cool-looking one with the glasses?
Sean.
Which one's that one? The one that looks like Egon? She looks super awesome in the promo pic, I gotta say. I'm not interested in the movie, but she looks awesome.
Sean, that's Melissa McCarthy, I believe.
No, I thought Melissa McCarthy was the
it's the Ray character, I think.
Yeah, she's
but still, you don't know who Kristen Wiig is, and that is a problem because she's expanded far beyond just being on Saturday Night Live. Joseph is angry.
Is angry.
Yes. All caps, Sean with 3 exclamation marks.
I don't know. It's that's not his angry Sean. I think that's his disappointed Sean. He can't believe I exist anymore. He said that to me about a lot of things. I don't keep up with modern culture, man. I'm stuck in the 90s, remember?
You are the king of the 90s. That's true.
So I mean, I can't. Everyone wants me to get excited for this movie. I'm like, I'll probably see it when it comes out, but I just can't. Everyone's hyped in my Ghostbuster Twitter feeds and stuff. You know.
Hold on. You have separate columns in TweetDeck for Ghostbusters.
No, I just follow a lot of Ghostbuster accounts. Did you just break your mic? You did. He laughed so loud that I think Skype readjusted his audio just now to minimize it. You're gonna have to go into settings and fix that, man. Tim, you broke it. You broke it. Just because I like Ghostbusters. It's not that funny. It's not that funny. Anyway, let's talk about this game while Tim tries to solve this horrible problem. We haven't been talking about the game very much. So this is the 100 live mode, which I was saying, where you have 100 lives, and I'm a little disappointed in it, to be honest, because I have 100 lives, which suggested to me this was going to be really challenging, but I don't think these levels are all that hard, and I think that's just what you get when you have the crapshoot situation. And it's like, because it's all random online levels. Okay, this is getting a little harder, actually. So Metroid Zero asks, he doesn't stay with popular culture either. Can he work at Engadget? That's not why I work here. Oh, Tim, are you back?
Maybe.
Oh, whoa, that was really weird. I think you're too loud now. You got to turn that down.
Hello?
Oh, there you go. You sound alright now. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to.
You were so shocked that I follow Ghostbusters on Twitter, like multiple Ghostbuster fan accounts, that you broke the stream. Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's worse than that, Tim. Like, you don't know how far this goes. If it like, to the left of me is the entire Ghostbusters cartoon box set, and this isn't official yet. I'm methodically writing scripts for YouTube reviews for every single episode of that.
God. No, you just took Ghostbusters nerdery to, oh my god, absolutely crazy level.
I'm not even bad. I don't even have my own proton pack. I was gonna build one, but then my buddy bailed on me.
Oh man. Yodel brings up a good point while we're talking about Ghostbusters still, because apparently this has just turned into the Ghostbusters stream somehow. Yodel says, honestly, he's been burnt out on remakes, so I've basically lost any interest in remakes, and that's a very fair point.
Right, remakes in general is a fair point. Like, it's like I've been told these women are all very funny, and I trust people, like, his friends of mine, like, oh man, they're so funny, they're great, and they're really looking forward to it. I'm like, all right, sure. But I just like it for me. It's just because I don't know celebrities. So I'll probably go and see it at a matinee with some friends, and I'll probably be like, well, I don't know who these women are, and then I'll go see all the other things they're done.
Okay, so now, do you have a fridge full of rotten Ecto Cooler?
No, but I have looked up the recipe for Ecto Cooler, and I know how to make it. And I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna. Oh, hey, we just unlocked Waluigi, the worst.
Oh yeah,
he's the worst. We're gonna play as him, but I mean, so Waluigi. To get back on the topic of Mario, even though I'll talk about Ghostbusters forever, do you know why he's named Waluigi?
Because Nintendo was creatively bankrupt for like 5 minutes and then went with it?
No, it's actually super clever. So Wario makes sense in America and Japan because it's an upside down Wario, right? But it was a pun in Japan. Wario wasn't because it was an upside down M. That was just a coincidence. It's because it's warui, which is like a Japanese word that kind of means bad, right? So Wario is literally bad Mario. So Waluigi is trying to make the same pun, putting the warui in the beginning of his name, makes him bad Luigi. Okay. In America, it just sounds like they're stupid and lazy.
Right, it does. So Joseph says when he was about 3, his parents got him one of the Ghostbusters ghost toys that dropped slime, and they warned me not to drop slime on my rug. So guess what I did? So to go back, all right. So if we're gonna go retro, and we can do this to slightly bring us back on topic. My parents had an old TV, and they still have it. It's up in the attic at my parents' house for whatever reason. But I had a bingo magnet, and my parents would always say, "Don't take that by the TV," and I did. And I took the bingo magnet. I didn't do anything crazy with it. I didn't go bananas or buck wild. What I did is I just ran it across the very top of the screen, and it demagnetized the screen, and the scan lines were super far apart. And then I think my dad used that as the excuse to finally buy that was like a 13 to 15 inch TV with a mono speaker. It wasn't great, but it was the TV my parents had when they first got married. But my parents used that, or my dad at least used that excuse to buy the biggest TV you could buy in 1992, which was a 36-inch LXI, which was Sears. Oh my God, that is a lot of coins.
It is a lot of coins.
It was the Sears house brand, and it was built like a tank. They used that TV up until like 3 or 4 years ago when it finally just burned out.
Those things were enormous, and they took up so much space. Like I remember my friends having TVs like that when I was a kid, and just being jealous. And now I look at them and thinking, man, how would you want something to take up that much room in your house?
Well, yeah. Even so, my buddy Josh, my best friend, he had for a while a 32-inch CRT 720p TV. And that thing was just, good lord. You know, you look at a 32-inch LCD, it's like, all right, you know, that's pretty small by today's standards, which, if you think about it right now, that's pretty screwed up that a 32-inch TV is considered small. But he had a 32-inch CRT high-definition TV, and it's just, the thing is massive.
So Kovar is telling you exactly what I was going to tell you after you stopped talking. He says, if you mess up a TV with a magnet, you can usually fix it by moving the magnet in the opposite pattern, which is what I did. I had the same kind of toy magnet, and I ruined a TV with it, and it took me months to notice because I'm stupid. And I was playing Mario or something, or Final Fantasy, and my dad said, why is that guy purple only when you walk there? And I was like, I don't know. And he took a magnet out, and he fixed it. So they could have fixed that. Probably with that same magnet within like a couple minutes.
Huh. I wonder if that was wrong with that 32 or 36-inch TV then, because toward the end of its life, the picture, it just got really dim and everything was really purple, and there was never anything done wrong to it at all. It just, I think,
maybe got near a magnet, you know.
Possibly.
You know, you were installing some car speakers and you brought it over.
Oh. You know what? Do you remember? We're speaking of old TVs. Do you remember the GX TV? And it was made for Nintendo consoles, and it had like a GX mode where the speakers folded over the front of the screen, and when you folded them out, it would be like stereo, but the speakers were way bigger than anything else. And I think we're going to Toys R Us and seeing N64s hooked up to it, and you could actually use that as a computer monitor as well.
You know, I kind of do remember that. I remember a lot of like boutique TVs in the late 90s. Like, you could get like Hello Kitty TVs, you can get Sonic the Hedgehog TVs. There was like always these themed TVs for kids. It was like a big thing. Yeah.
And now, well, I mean, we're getting that now as well, because just how cheap and how omnipresent LCD screens are.
Right. It's like they're just like, as we were transitioning to TVs, like they were a big deal, and now they're just basically unexciting.
Right.
You know, so they got to make gimmicks to try and sell them. Oh, that was a mistake.
So we are getting close to the end of our stream, Sean.
Well, what do we want to do for the last bit of our stream? Do we want to try and make another level? Like, how bad of a level can we make in 5 minutes?
And then play through it.
I think we've seen all of the main features that I have noticed.
Okay.
That I have available to me. So let's see. What do we gotta want? Water, underground, or ask chat if they want. Just seriously, go and type it in. Do we want water? Do we want underground? Or do we want an open field? And in the meantime, our manager Joseph says, I wish Galoob would bring back Game Genie. I kind of liked that too, except for the only problem with Game Genie is there's no way to do it with the physical item anymore because of the way things changed. Like for a while, and this was super impressive. Like, do you remember when Game Genie got on was on PlayStation and they had to plug it into an expansion port in the back?
Like,
it was like a hardware mod. Like, it's because you know, obviously a disc you can't do anything with.
Right. Yeah, you could do it via USB now.
I suppose, but like the system would have to be designed with that in mind, which none of them ever were. Like, Nintendo and the like didn't like the Game Genie, you know.
Oh no, because it broke it. You know, for lack of a better word, it broke their games.
Right. It technically modified the code, and the closest thing to Game Genie we have now, and this is super sketchy. So I have Retron 5, which has a Game Genie mode. Right, which so it has Game Genie, but it also has IPS patches, which are what you can use to have modded ROMs on a PC. So I can put in a physical cartridge and apply a translation patch using this, and play a Japanese version of a game in English using the cartridge.
So this is how you could play Castlevania 2.
I could. However, those IPS patches can also hack the game to an extent that you can technically turn it into a completely other game illegally. So I could plug in Star Fox and play Super Mario World.
So we don't have many votes on this, but the two that we do have are water.
Okay, we're gonna do a water level, and
Kavar says underground, but we only have we have 3 votes total, and 2 of them are for water. Okay. So Kavar, sorry about that.
All right, we're gonna go to the course maker. We're gonna go water and short or long. Well, I guess it's gotta be short because we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So let's go straight over to the end of the course. and we'll make it 2 screens long, 3 screens long. What do you think?
3.
Okay, it's 3 screens long. Okay, it's a goalpost, and let's see what we can throw in here. Let's go. Ooh, I like these. Let's get some of these things. We're gonna make this really unfortunate for me.
Okay. Cover says that these companies are going to be concerned that a cheat device today could lead to piracy or online cheating, both of which are bad for them. And that's another thing too, is how much of video games today just rely on internet connections. They don't have to be on. They aren't online only, but they might as well be, because everything you're doing is feeding back into a leaderboard somehow, or just some online element. Yeah, the fact that you could do that now, the fact that how a Game Genie-like system would work in today's ecosystem or gaming landscape, it just wouldn't work because it provides unfair advantages.
Right, like it's just kind of like we're living in a different era, and like that's okay. It's just, but it's very much, it's kind of like, how could you make that work? Oh, we got a problem. If I don't add a roof, I'm gonna be able to cheat in my own level.
Uh-oh.
So let's go ahead and add a roof there. So one thing the listeners probably can't hear. We'll go up here. If you and I are quiet for a second, if you enter the blocks and you listen to the music in the background, when you put down items, it synchronizes with the music.
Oh.
So you're kind of playing along with the music of the game while you're playing, which is really interesting. Okay, let's shoot out. Here we go. We'll shoot out this guy. No, that didn't work. Okay, we'll just leave him there. We're gonna shoot out fish out of these cannons. We're gonna shoot out bloopers out of these cannons, and we're gonna shoot out spikes out of these cannons. And what else can we do to make this really painful? So,
I like what Joseph says. He goes, how long do you think Nintendo searched for that hand model?
It's probably the same lady they've been using for DS, to be honest.
Oh, you know, that just makes me think of, there's a Queens of the Stone Age song, and the reason why this comes to mind is because they played a secret show that was announced on Beats One. They played a show in LA last night. Queens of the Stone Age is an amazing Southern California, they're a desert rock band. But they have a song on one of their early albums, I think it's on Rated R, and one of the song names is I Was a Teenage Hand Model.
That's weird.
There is some Queens of the Stone Age love for you guys there in chat, because I would love everybody to like Queens of the Stone Age as much as I do.
Are you ready to groan at me, Tim?
You don't know who Queens of the Stone Age are, and you've never listened to them.
No, I've never listened to them, but I know who they are, but only because when I go to the record store and I want to get a Queen album that I don't happen to have, Queens of the Stone Age is there ruining things for me.
I want to smack you, Sean.
Like, it's all this there. I'm like, man, I could really go for a new Queen album. Bam! Queens of the Stone Age. I'm like, dang it.
Well, that's why you have Queen with Adam Lambert. There you go. That's what you get now.
Well, that wasn't very nice of you.
Do you know what the solution is here? You buy a Queens of the Stone Age album.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, these cannons are like heat-seeking.
Yeah, well, see, this is karma. This is what you get.
Ah! The cannons are shooting fish at me! This was a terrible idea.
Wendy Bob 812, no, you cannot play this on a PS4 because this is a Nintendo game. If you were looking for something similar to this, you might want to give Little Big Planet 3 a shot, which came out last year, and you should be able to find that relatively reasonably now. I would say, you know, if it's not $60, you can probably find a copy for 40 or 30 or 35. And Duke, like Duke says, so here's something, because I know you like classic rock and you like older music, Sean. Mm-hmm. Duke says to check out Them Crooked Vultures, and this is why you should check them out, because it is Josh Homme on guitar from Queens of the Stone Age. It is Dave Grohl, so this is scratching so many different itches for you. Yeah, it's 90s music and classic rock. Dave Grohl plays drums, and John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin plays bass.
That sounds pretty great, actually. Yeah.
Dude, yes, get into
What's the name of this band again?
Them Crooked Vultures.
That's an awesome name, too. All right, we'll do that.
They only released one album because it was a side project when Dave Grohl was super prolific and doing all kinds of different side projects. He did Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. He also played drums on an album by The Killing Joke, which is fantastic. He played drums on Queens of the Stone Age's Songs for the Deaf. Yeah, like, you should definitely check this game out. Good lord. Check out that band and that album.
Speaking of games, Tim,
speaking of games,
we've got exactly 2 time left for a couple of quick levels, and I'm doing one right now, which is called
as a squid,
which is called Splatoon, which is amazing because it shows that when you play the underwater levels as a Splatoon amiibo, you're a squid now. It's awesome.
This makes me wonder if Splatoon was originally like, if Nintendo, when they were doing the inception stages or the conceptual stages for Splatoon, they're like, oh yeah, we have those squids that we haven't really done anything with from Mario. Maybe we should do that. And now I'm just like, this feels really like, oh hey, Splatoon. This could have existed in 8-bit, possibly, maybe.
Yeah, it's really cool throwback to that. So that's sort of like a throwback to that. And the last one we're gonna play, because we only have about a few minutes left, unless we have time after this.
We have exactly 4 minutes.
Right. But it is really cool. You're right. They do look just like bloopers. So there's definitely some. At least when they designed them, they made the conscious choice to do that. The last starred one I want to do is a Wind Waker dungeon. That's what it's called. I love the giddy gasp.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, it's called a Wind Waker dungeon. So it's another amiibo courses, and I think the amiibo courses so far are my favorite part about this game, which is funny because it's just kind of like it's just enough that it's still Mario, but it adds enough freshness that kind of excites me. You know, it's kind of like it's like playing a platformer that didn't exist of my favorite games. So here we are. We're adorable Link amiibo. And one thing awesome about Link amiibo is Toon Link is when he falls from jumping, he's using the leaf.
Really?
Oh, I just lost my amiibo power. But yeah, but when he falls.
Good job, Sean.
I'll get it back.
Way to lose your amiibo powers.
He jumps as he's holding the sail leaf from Wind Waker. It's actually it's just a really good design.
Yeah, and does it affect the physics at all, or is it just an animation thing that pops up?
No, it's just an animation thing, but it's still it's a nice nod.
Yeah, I was just saying, in that sense, it's like Samus bringing out her gun.
Right. It just looks really cool, and it's kind of like it shows that it's not just kind of like an afterthought. They thought a little bit into how they were gonna make these amiibo characters. Wow, I keep getting destroyed though. Oh my gosh. Oh man, we still have 2 minutes left, and I beat that Wind Waker dungeon. Let's go through my other starred courses, see what else I got.
Okay, and see, to me, that's the thing that we talked about so much on the stream is just how much is this just quick fixes and just quick little bits versus a full-on game, like you would expect from a Mario title.
Right, that's true. Is one thing that I am a little disappointed with is I was hoping there would be more, like you would have the ability to create sets of levels to share. Like you created, here's my 30-level Mario game I created and spent months on. Friends, please play it. But instead it's like bite sizes, and that's cool because it lets you have a lot of variety. But it does a little disappointing to me because it means I can't play a whole new Mario game. Like if someone wanted to try and make Super Mario World 4 or whatever using the assets in this game, they can only do it like, okay, you got to play this set of levels by entering these codes individually. And that's a little bit of a shame. So I mean, I don't know what else is in store because you guys watching this have seen 99% of my time with this game so far. And maybe I'll discover more and I'll be blown away, but maybe that's just stuff that's for the sequel. And also, maybe it makes me sad because maybe that's the stuff that shows that maybe this game wasn't originally intended to be a full disc release. Yeah,
and that's another thing. Like, it feels like it's in a weird halfway point, just based on the 2 hours that we've spent with it now, and me passively watching. It feels like it's in a weird in-between spot between whether it should be a full-on release, like a disc-based release that you would expect from Nintendo, or whether it should be a downloadable game.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, it's a downloadable game. Our version is downloaded.
Well, right, but I'm sorry, like a download native game, like you would expect from like an indie or something along those lines, as opposed to, well, that's another problem with gaming in general. Is you can download any game now on a console.
Right. But
I'm trying to figure out the proper nomenclature. For
I know what you mean, like WiiWare versus. This is really tough. Versus the kind of
a retail experience.
And I don't know if I would be satisfied with this as a $60 retail experience or not. But I mean, then again, it might just be for super hardcore Mario fans.
Right, but this is one of Nintendo's big retail releases this fall. This is one of their big games.
Right.
It's this and Yoshi and what else?
And I really feel like this is actually a really good game. I'm having a ton of fun with it. I question how accessible it is because people are used to certain tropes.
Right.
So this level's really interesting though. They've made this level, even though it's a side scroller, they're trying to make it feel like a top-down Legend of Zelda game.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's really interesting. go. This is so hard. Are we done? I'm sorry.
No. If I mean, we'll
we'll finish this level.
Yeah.
But I mean, on the other hand, like this is exactly what I mean. Though it doesn't feel as deep that way. I really love these quirky, creative levels, and though I don't think I'm creative enough to really get the most out of it, like the fact that people have been to make this experience, which I'm really loving, like that's a lot of value to me to be able to experience what they've done and share that experience with them. So it's mixed. Like, does it stand up for the price of $60? I don't know, but
right.
On the other hand, I'm playing this wacky Legend of Zelda adventure that's, of course, non-canonical if you care about that, but it's also just completely bizarre. Oh, that was a filter of jumping power. If you're good at jumping, you could have gotten a better score on the flag, but I suck.
Good job. Way to be, Sean.
So that's the best way to end this stream. Confirmation that I suck at Mario, even when Mario is really Zelda. And I also suck at Zelda, even when Zelda's really Mario. You know. But overall, I think it's a really fun game. If you're a big Mario fan and you like challenges and wacky stuff, you know, take a look at it. But it's definitely sort of weird, so maybe watch a few more streams and think about it. It's a very strange game.
And speaking of more streams, like I said, if you guys want to, we're going to probably, if we get enough codes sent to us from you guys making levels, and you email them to engadgetplaydate@gmail.com, we will plan a future stream around playing nothing but community levels. And for the folks that are watching the archived version of this stream on our website on Engadget or via AOL On, which is our video service, if you guys want to be able to tune in, then do it. Like, so then we can talk to you while we're playing your levels. I think that would be really neat. It'll be a really cool way to get you guys involved in this. And yeah, definitely, send us your codes for the levels you make. You guys, we'll take level submissions. We'll continuously take them. So there's no real cutoff. Just send in as many as you want. Or, I'm sorry, don't send in as many as you want. Send in your best designs. And then we will go through, and if we get enough of them to make it through for 2 hours, we'll play them.
You can send in more than one, he's saying, but don't send in 30.
Right, exactly that. More than one, less than 30. Just make sure they're all awesome, and there's something that you want to punish us with, or just show off how creative you are, which is something that's going to be really cool. And if you can, just tune in and then jump in with the stream, and then we can talk with you while we're playing through them and kind of get your idea for how the level came to be and what you want to do with it. I think that could be really, really, really neat.
Right, so, yeah, definitely put any commentary you wanted there. We'd love to be able to talk about what your vision was or what you wanted to do.
Yeah. And so thank you, everybody, for tuning in, especially all the new viewers we had today. And if you liked what we did, hit that follow button underneath the video stream. It's that heart, and it lets us know that you like what we're doing, and you get to find out whenever we go live. And that'd be awesome. And so I am Engadget Associate Editor Timothy Sepala. Thank you for joining us. And also thank you, Mr. Sean Buckley, for hosting this stream today.
It was an experiment in new internet. Yeah, so I don't know what I was talking. I thought I had something clever to say. It was an experiment in not being clever. I'm sorry, everybody. Thanks for watching Engadget Playdate. We're happy to have you. We'll be back next week with what are we coming back with, Tim?
We have, at the very least, I have to look at that. We have Failure. Destiny next week because we're going to be getting codes for the Taken King, and yeah, so we'll get that all set. We're going to be playing Metal Gear Solid 5 next week, actually.
No, okay, that's it. We'll be back next week with Metal Gear Solid 5, and Tim's very excited about some very realistic horse mechanics in that game.
Yep.
And so until next time, you can check us out right here by subscribing and at twitch.com/joystick or the Engadget Gaming homepage, which is engadget.com/gaming. Until next time, I'm Sean Buckley, and this guy is...
Tim Sepala.
Good night.